Omkar, before you, we have the incoming students of MBA. And in keeping with my own traditions of my 25 years of academic journey, in addition to the civil service, I have never really treated my students as students. I have always conjured them as the business leaders of tomorrow. That is how I'm very fond of describing my students. And as on date, it's a great pride I take in saying that my student network are not only nationally, and there is an internationally, many of them are very well placed. So here you will be addressing to them actually the business leaders of tomorrow. Right. And let me introduce Omkar with me to you. Omkar and me have shared a bond of friendship over 2 decades. And he is known in the industry as the digital icon. Truly so. Truly so. And innovators, in essence, Dr. Rai has really unleashed the governmental actions into such a height of promotions of the entrepreneurship, technology, and that is the theme I have requested him to share with you, how he did it. Right? Educated all throughout in BHU, right from bachelor's, master's to PhD in statistics. He has been leading software technology park of India for more than a decade right now. With this, I hand over to Omkar to address the students. Omkar, over to you.
Sir, you're on mute. We can't hear you and we can't see you as well.
Omkar, you seems to be on a mute. We are not able to hear you.
Good morning, folks. How are you feeling today?
Great, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Sir,
sir.
excited.
वीडियो नहीं आ रहा है क्यों ये क्यों आ रहा है अच्छा स्टार्ट वीडियो नहीं am I visible now? Yes, sir. Okay.
Not at all. Yes, sir.
ये क्या हो रहा है? I'm so connected. वीडियो कहाँ है? आ ही नहीं रहा है यार। क्लिक करिए सर। अबे ये देखो कहाँ आ रहा है? हाँ, यस अब ओके सर। अब यहाँ पे करेंगे सर। हो ही नहीं रहा। क्यों? ये जो है इसमें सेटिंग कहाँ है? switch audio, connect to video system. Who कह रहा है? ये तो सभी
Would you like to relog again?
Oh, let me try once. Am I audible now?
You are audible, but you are not visible.
Okay, let me. Hey, just a minute. Okay. I'm sorry. I think I must be visible now. I'm very sorry about it.
Not only visible, you are beaming.
Okay. It happens. I'm sorry. So, Dr. Mitra, I'm sorry about it. Please proceed.
Floor is all yours, sir. No, please go ahead and address the students. Kindly. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I would thank Dr. R.K. Mitra and School of Management and Entrepreneurship, IIT Jodhpur, for inviting me to talk to the students of MBA and Tech MBA programs. I'm very glad to be here, and I can see the kind of participation we have here and the kind of entire the schedule, entire scope of this entire event has been carefully crafted. And therefore, I must quickly come to the topic. We have already lost few minutes time. We all know that the topic which is around technology and business is it needs no introduction. We don't need to use so many words to interpret or establish the linkages between both the things, or relation, correlation, and collaboration between both the terms. We know that uh, just to take this topic forward, I would just like to take you to the IT services industry's evolution in India. We call it third revolution in India after independence. And this revolution, we all are aware that it started with outsourcing, IT services outsourcing work, evolved over a period of time, moved up the value chain, and now it's a IT knowledge industry. It's actually knowledge industry. It's R&D outsourcing services industry, which actually indulge in creation of technology product, and powering the transformation all across the world through the means of emerging technology and information technology. And therefore, if we look at the background we have within India, we have exported around $150 billion software services, R&D services, technology services to our customers all across the world. Have taken to the digital economy's contribution in this country close to $194 billion last financial year. Have employed around 4.6 million professionals across the value chain of diverse and diversified stream disciplines and subjects. And therefore, why I'm trying to give you the glimpse of the IT services industry, or we now call it technology services industry, because we would carefully look at how this industry has actually powered the transformation, not only across the world, but also within India. We know that we started giving outsourcing services to our customers in US way back in 80s, and the entire landscape totally transformed. Whereas the IT, the companies, the enterprises within US and Europe largely benefited from the talent that we had on Indian soil, and actually they made themselves very efficient and competitive in their core focus areas. And that's how the emergence of a technology services industry happened in India. However, this IT services industry actually powered a lot of transformation within India too. We know that we talk about India Stack, which started with the creation of Aadhaar platform, world's largest biometric-based identity system. It is such a robust biometric identity system that none of other nations are able to create similar database, similar platform in their nation. And based on this Aadhaar, we also know that several services were rolled out all across the country. The Jan Dhan Aadhaar mobile trinity is much talked, and we all know. We all know that India became the pioneer in digital peer-to-peer payment system. We know the Beam protocol, unique payment interface, UPI. These are very simple terms, simple technology, but we have become leader because of this. This is also one of the offering of India Stack. Apart from that, the quick implementation of GST network, world's largest business network, business compliance network. Our passport seva, e-seva, or our MCA 21, where we can register companies wherever we are in few hours. That has become possible because of we had a very strong IT services industry in India. We did these things very, very rapidly. We know that the national education policy also came up in year 2020, talked about incorporation of technologies to make things better, to digitize the content, to change the pedagogy, to make education very inclusive across the country, across the length and breadth of the country. That has to be made possible only by incorporating, capitalizing, and leveraging the IT services industry, because they are the people who will quickly, realize that vision on the ground. We know that I will just pass a reference to the, ever-growing technology startup ecosystem in this country. We know that we are world's third largest startup ecosystem, technology startup ecosystem, with around 12,000 technology startups all across. And I would say that the success has been phenomenal, outstanding, exceptional. In year 2020, the forecasters, researchers were forecasting that India will have more than 50 unicorns by 2022. Whereas the technology startup ecosystem transformed in such a speedy manner, transformatory manner, that in the beginning of year 2021 itself, we added 11 unicorns. And we are already 52 unicorns by now. A year before, we forecasted to reach to that level. We a very great term people call unicorns. Those unicorns became unicorns sooner than the forecast. That actually, if you look at the entire e-commerce platform success, or any platform that India evolved on our soil, or aggregators, or business aggregators, all sorts of platform that we see on this soil, whether it is educational technologies, transpersonal aggregation in hospitality, transportation, and all. They were not new technologies, they were not new concepts. But because we had talent on this soil, and we had a very strong, experienced knowledge, IT services knowledge industry in India, with 4.6 million professionals working across the value chain, actually powering the startup ecosystem of the world, powering the transformation of the incumbent enterprises of the world. And they were the people who made these transformations possible in accelerated manner, in a speedy manner. And therefore, India is actually becoming such a leader in this technology space, that sooner we will establish our leadership not only in IT services industry, which we are in any case leader with close to 60% of the total IT outsourcing business of the world, which is translated into $150 billion export that we made last year. But sooner we will also, owing to the fact the kind of success, the kind of achievements that we have recorded in the field of technology ecosystem, technology startup ecosystem, with the clear, with the very apparent successes that we made, achievement that we made with more than 50 unicorns on this soil, we are fast becoming, going to establish our leadership, unquestioned leadership in technology startup ecosystem in times to come. Again, I would like to remind the young boys and girls here, students, that this entire success of this technology startup ecosystem in this country, which is so rapid, which is so speedy, has been made possible because we had a very strong technology knowledge industry in this country. They were doing the same job for their customers, and now they have made it possible. Again, I would like to point out about a phenomena that this entire journey, this entire transformation is becoming possible because one major factor, that is talent with cost arbitrage. A term cost arbitrage defines the cost of the same work at two locations. India actually has the cost arbitrage advantages coupled with the talent, the manpower, the human resources that we have within India. Very strong education system. People have different opinions. We are a very large population, populous country, very huge country, with diverse, seasons, climates, geographies, topologies, and all. But still, our educational system has delivered a very high quality education to our young boys and girls, our people, at fraction of the cost which is incurred by our neighbors, our European and American counterparts. And therefore, the entire cost arbitrage term comes to help us, comes to rescue us. And therefore, I can foresee that the kind of movement that is taking shape this country, with the strong foundation that we had. I talked about IT revolution, IT services revolution in India, which is now a very mature revolution, very mature IT industry, evolved over a more than 3 decades time. Even prior to that, we had achieved huge successes in green revolution, making India self-reliant in food grain production, making India self-reliant in milk production. We are the largest milk producer in the world, taking the milks and milk product to every nook and corner of this country, to the every child, every mother, every father. And therefore, this third revolution actually has become a foundation of several revolutions that are taking shape in this country. I would again refer a emergence of India stack, which is always adding new things in its fold. We are becoming leader in several things, in many things, in fact. If I just referred that our CoWIN platform, which was quickly developed actually by us to deliver vaccination services, a platform. 29 nations of this world, they want this CoWIN platform. Now India is engaged in training and delivering that platform to other nations. Why I'm saying though, it's just possible to develop these platforms. Any other nation can also develop these platforms, but India, owing to the a very strong foundation on its soil in form of IT industry, has been able to develop it in a speedy manner within no time and with fraction of the cost that would be incurred by our counterparts in US and Europe for developing the same kind of system. And therefore, these entire advantages that we have with us actually makes us, empowers us to take a stride, take a leap in other sectors. We all know that this much talked transformation in technology startup ecosystem is just an indication of what is yet to come in future. These more than 50 plus unicorns are actually having the seeds of revolution disruption. They are going to unleash huge amount of wealth creation, huge amount of job creation in times to come, because they are just at nascent stage and they have become unicorns in no time. And it will also propel in fact, a chain reaction in this entire nation. We know that we have a lot of talent in tier 2, smaller cities, tier 2 cities of this nation. And therefore, the focus of the entrepreneurs, the ecosystem players, the government at large have now, converged to smaller towns too. If we make this entire experience, entire journey, entire endeavor inclusive, and try the talent, the natural talent that young boys and girls of this nation have. You know that I was reading an article, I have forgot the source, but I was reading an article where it was mentioned that the seed of creation of technologies suiting to the requirement of local people lies in the minds and hearts of young boys and girls of those locations, thereby meaning that the young boys and girls of smaller towns, tier 2 and tier 3 cities, have advantageous position in coming up with those technologies, in realization of those issues which cannot be realized by young boys and girls of tier 1 cities. They just cannot appreciate certain problems that are faced by smaller town people, villagers. And therefore, if we could actually infuse that culture of ideation, culture of technology creation, innovation at grassroots level, rising from the school level to graduation level, engineering college and other, all across the country, whether it is tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 6, then this entire entrepreneurial landscape endeavors will actually become a very, very strong movement and would unleash a very speedy creation of wealth. We know that we are a very huge population, and we all aware that we can solve our problem by raising our per capita income, by creating huge amount of wealth, which can percolate to down to below. And therefore, the percolation of wealth can only happen if we create huge wealth. And therefore, creation of wealth is key to solving all the problems that we face today. And that movement has just taken shape. That movement has just started. India was until actually was more focused on serving, creating technologies, IPR and product for others. Now it is focusing on, it is in addition to delivering those services, continue to deliver those services to their customers and dominating the IT services business of the world. It is also indulging in creation of technology product, which is evident from the fact that we are very quickly world's third largest technology startup ecosystem, and sooner we are going to establish our leadership in this sector also. And this is the key. And therefore, I must like to remind young boys and girls that future lies in your entrepreneurship, not because it's a jargon. No. Time has come. It's no more a jargon. 20 years before, if you used to talk about entrepreneurship, startup and all, it was much a more manufacturing era where you would convert to become a small or micro entrepreneur, and you will not be able to create wealth the way we are creating today, the kind of valuation, because it's a knowledge-based industry, as I can say, where young boys and girls can just ideate. They are not required to establish factories, shops and all. They just need to have idea and a place to convert their idea into some kind of software product. And this is the time when people are applying their mind, ideating, and large number of people are trying to participate in this entire movement, which has become possible now, which is absolutely in our sight, because we have seen a huge success. Every day success is happening. This lockdown period was seen as a showstopper in this nation. Of course, it caused a lot of difficulty to us. We all faced it. But during this period, India learned a lot. We know that this VC system, a collaborative platform, the adoption of collaborative platform became possible. The educational platform became possible. Social media, they got a lot of prominence in our minds all across the length, breadth of the country, irrespective of where we come from. And therefore, you can foresee that the emergence of unicorns were mostly in these sectors just during a period of year, just before preceding year. And therefore, during this period, we have seen a lot of disruption in legacy system, conventional business model. But at the same time, it has also presented a lot of opportunity to us, so that we could, convert our, ideas using technology, and convert our businesses, make them efficient, make them, market friendly, and create wealth out of it. I just don't want to, talk about the success. Just before yesterday, I was reading a news article that the valuation of Flipkart has risen to $37.5 billion. I'm just mentioning these figures, just try to figure out how much money it is, how much wealth it is, and how this wealth can actually transform a lot of issues in this country. It is a kind of chain reaction it can cause. It actually is a virtuous cycle, that one enterprise creates wealth, and then other enterprise gets, benefit out of it, and then a chain reaction starts, a virtuous cycle starts in this nation. And therefore, I can foresee. Again, I would like to, remind you that this time, now we are passing through a very interesting phase. The time when the emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, 3D printing, drone technologies, blockchain, augmented reality, virtual realities, all these core technologies, along with cloud and others, they are going to make much difference. Now, why I'm trying to mention about these technologies is that we are in better position than others to try hands-on in technology. I would again refer that we have a huge mentor pool, huge talent pool in this nation, which are actually doing R&D in these sectors for their customers, and they are on their soil, our soil. And therefore, it is just possible that young boys and girls try their hands on these technologies, uh, get the mentoring support from the industry who are actually doing the job for their customers, and leverage from the ecosystem that the others are creating. Like I would just mention that these technologies are going to transform a lot of things. If I talk about success of Flipkart, just for an example, it is now $37.5 billion valuation based company. But if it has to grow beyond that, it has to adopt technologies. Now, which technology will make difference in those in the Flipkart? Just for an example, if they don't use the data that they collect and generate knowledge out of, intelligence out of, and apply in marketing and sales, optimizing their value chain, delivery, they cannot sustain, they cannot remain competitive in the field. And therefore, they are, it is inevitable for them that they would try their hand with these technologies. If you look at the success of educational technology platform, that they are becoming huge, companies, because the entire educational delivery platform landscape has changed because of this COVID-19 caused challenges. And therefore, if their valuation is growing, they will have to also adopt new technologies. They will have to adopt not only AI, IoT, and other technology, they have to try hands-on immersive technologies also. If they don't make their contents with the augmented reality and virtual reality, any more animated, more visualized, more immersed, they cannot remain competitive. They cannot remain, relevant over a period of time. And therefore, while delivering what they have today, they have to continuously evolve with emerging technology. In the entire financial technology sector, finance sector, entire health sector, entire government sector, entire businesses that we have today, legacy incumbent businesses, they will have to adopt technology to remain competitive, to remain, to deliver value, to remain efficient. And that is why a lot of opportunity lies ahead for young boys and girls. There is no dearth of opportunity in times to come, because we are living in a world which is global village. We know what is happening in US. We know what is happening in Europe. and we are competing. It's a era of multinationals. If we remain efficient in one geography, one location, we have to remain competitive in other locations too. And there are new disruptive ideas that are every day being confronted, faced, and experienced by all of us. And therefore, the talent will be the key differentiator in times to come. And I must say that owing to the kind of legacy we have, the background, the foundation that we have in India, and the kind of huge talent pool that we have within India, if we are going to put these things together, apart from the enabling provisions, endeavors that governments of the day are taking all across, if we could marry these efforts, create a collaborative platform, we could unleash such a platform where young boys and girls can actually come and ideate and benefit from those collaborations that are being forged and formed on the ground. I must say that software technology parks of India, which I represent in fact, was created way back in 90s. And we are actually we are actually an agency which actually made the entire IT industry, entire IT services industry of India, because of our policies, programs, and services and handholding and facilitation that we did. However, we have not just been complacent with the kind of success we achieved. We have also transformed. Why I am trying to just point out this journey, because it is synonymous of the journey of IT services industry of India. And again, I must point out that STPI has transformed itself to become an enabler in terms of enabling the transformation, facilitating the transformation that is taking place in the technology startup ecosystem. And that's why, apart from the other government sector agencies, governments at large, various ministries, various departments, various agencies, from the state governments, educational institution, high R&D institution that they are taking, I must say that STPI itself actually has taken initiative to create incubators all across the country. We have already launched 13 centers of excellence, essentially incubator, which is actually very unique in a manner that it is being actually led by the industry leaders. We have drawn large pool of mentors from all across the country, from esteemed IT services industry. And therefore, if I like to share, if I share you the kind of names, we have a center of excellence in augmented reality and virtual reality in IIT Bhubaneswar, which is led by Subrata Bagchi, a veteran industry leader in this country. And it is being actually powered and supported by a large mentor pool drawn from IT industry. They are the people who are actually trying their hands and doing things in these technologies. And therefore, that is one center of excellence, which is personally in IIT Bhubaneswar. Second center of excellence that we have created in IoT Open Lab in Bangalore. It is open for young boys and girls from all across the country. Again, we have created a center of excellence in financial technology in Chennai under leadership of Arun Jain, who is the founder of Polaris, who is the founder of Intellect Editor Jain, a very leading name in the financial technology sector. Similarly, we have also created a center of excellence in Pune in autonomous connected electric and shared vehicle that is actually being led by Ganesh Nataraj, and a very veteran leader in IT industry. Why I'm saying, I mean, there are other center of excellence in Meditech. We are going to open a center of excellence in drone technology in Dehradun, because there is a lot of things that are happening there. We are also we have also created a center of excellence in animation, gaming in our facility premise in Hyderabad. We are also creating a center of excellence in Industry 4.0 for efficiency augmentation. I mean, we are also going to launch 12 more centers of excellence. So we will have 25 centers of excellence. But this is just our work. I'm not saying this is all the work that is happening in this country. What I'm trying to say is that this is the very interesting time when a lot of people, a lot of stakeholders are actually very conscious to the fact that the time is right when we all work together to create such a platform, facilitation, enabling environment, policies, programs, infrastructures, labs, pool of mentors, bringing standards, connect to the market. Apart from the kind of successes that are seen on the ground, so there is a learning on the ground. We are all aware, and therefore nobody in this country denies that the future of India lies in the hands of young boys and girls, startups, and entrepreneurs in ideation and innovation. And therefore, it is now for us to join this movement, take things forward, and leverage from the ecosystem that has already taken shape in this country. Participate in those, processes, challenges, programs, and policies, offerings that are being offered by those stakeholders, and join movement wherever you are. As I said in past, that the focus has also shifted on tier 2 and tier cities. The next generation incubation program that STPI has had launched has seen huge success all across the country. The kind of traction that we had seen on the ground because of the next generation incubation program is amazing. We have seen young boys and girls of smaller towns coming up with outstanding ideas and a list of problems that are to be solved. And while solving that problem, the wealth is created, the technology is created. And therefore, this entire next generation incubation program, we have also provisioned the provision of seed capital. We have also roped in company, a very efficient company, proficient company in that manner, which will manage our seed capital and other equity matters. And therefore, not saying that this is the exclusive work that we are doing. I mean, just citing that what STPI is doing. I must say that the time has come when all of us and each of us actually have to join this movement, try our hand, strive to create some kind of ideas, and definitely create wealth value, not only for us, also for the nation. With these few words, I must thank IIT Jodhpur, the School of Management and Entrepreneurship, for inviting me. And I must express my gratitude to Dr. R.K. Mitra, very old friend of mine, mentor actually, very senior person, who has afforded this opportunity to me to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Omkar, after a long, long time, actually heard your discourse. Let me tell all of you, when I approached him to deliver the keynote address, in his characteristic way, he said, "Why me? I'm not a much educated person, so I don't know much about this industry." I told him, "You say whatever you know," and you heard him, what he knows. And we have a very long associations because at one point of time, Omkar and I used to walk hands in hands. At the time, we were all in a commerce ministry. Then it went to the other ministry. What is the beautiful assertion that I noted in his lecture is the connection between wealth creation, innovation, and technology. Look, that the ordinary people of a tier 2, tier 3, boys and girls can create enormous wealth was really unheard of a decade ago. Industry used to be the captive domain of the people who had an industry family. The son of an industrialist will be the scion of that industrialist. That was the dominant paradigm. But look at that way. We're having the new people, lesser known people, and suddenly because of the renovation, the amount of the wealth they've created. He's talking of the Flipkart. Of course, it is no longer an Indian outfit anymore. But the person who founded that, there are so many every day. And let me tell you from my personal knowledge and tracking, I track this industry very closely. What Omkar has contributed tremendously is what I call technological dispersal. Technology earlier used to be the captive to certain R&D centers, certain organizations. It was not dispersed. By setting up STPI across the country and now Center of Excellence, whether it is Neuron in Mohali or Image in Hyderabad or FinBlue or AR, VR in Bhubaneswar, everywhere. this is creating a great dispersal of the technology and assisting the people. That's the greatest contribution Omkar has really made, I mean, to give an objective. So the message from him to all of you that look, he is exhorting upon you to join the new movement, a new movement of entrepreneurship, technologists, and wealth creators. So you can too also be part of this movement. That's the moment. Now, before I close the session, if any of the students or faculty have any question to ask Omkar, quick, a few questions because he has another meeting with the minister. He forewarned me, right? Any question from the students?
So we can see 4 hands raised. Can we?
Yeah, please go ahead. Akanksha, please coordinate the question. Answer or Abhishek, anyone of you. Omkar, just a few questions you answer. I know you have to go to the minister.
Anisha, you can start with your question.
Most welcome. Please ask.
Am I audible? Am I audible, sir?
You can
Yes,
be
your
little
voice is a little feeble. Yeah, please.
Now is it audible? Disconnected with.
I will try to hear you. Please tell me.
Okay, so sir, I already heard you about saying about ideation part, but specifically my question is for tier 3 cities. So, with regards to the tech management advancements in tier 3 cities, what are the essential challenges that we are facing as in budding or developing ecosystem as a country India is facing, and also how can we overcome as quickly and as efficiently as possible? You can suggest
Yeah.
something regarding this.
Hey, thank you for your question. In fact, this was the question actually we had 2 years before in our minds. In fact, the tier 2 and tier 3 cities are unfortunately facing the problem of mindset. The point is that the talent actually, as Dr. Mitra said, that has been captive in tier 1 cities because obvious opportunities have actually brought all the talent in places where opportunities lies and investments were coming, and therefore it was difficult for tier 2 and tier 3 cities to actually have those mentors. Unless you have mentors, market connect, knowledge, know-how, and enabling environment, you just cannot convert your ideas into reality, because you need experienced hand who can actually solve your problem of your vision. The point is that you can have a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, your ideation could be very bright, but unless you have a very tacit business plan to translate your plan into reality, you just cannot succeed. So the point is that these mentors, technology mentors and business mentors, were often and mostly found in tier 1 cities, larger towns of this larger cities of this country. And therefore it was a challenge for not only it's not a question from you, it was actually a challenge in front of all the people who wanted to make this entire journey, entire movement inclusive. It was actually very difficult. But for the fact that now there are policies and programs uh, of the government, better incentives for doing things in smaller towns. So the first thing is that it is being enabled by the government policies first. Second, that now with these collaborative platform, video conferencing platform, digital platform, are actually helping us to remain seamlessly connected with the talent and mentors wherever they are, not only in Bangalore, Pune, and Mumbai, and Hyderabad, and Chennai, and Noida, and Gurgaon. No, you can even remain connected with the any mentor from all across the world now. Now people are have adopted to this kind of culture, and therefore this is something which is very important. You can remain connected with the mentors, all sorts of mentors and investors. Second, that in almost all the places, the ecosystem is now percolating. The entrepreneurs or some kind of capital is getting formed in smaller towns too. And they are the people who are actually acting as a linkages between mentors, investors, prospective, investors and all. And therefore, if you are creating good idea, good technology, good business offering, then it is not remaining as a secret of a small town. It is becoming global. And therefore, now, if you have a great idea and you have a good mentors to convert your ideas into a very tacit business plan, business offering, then it won't remain anymore a secret because of this digital technology platform that people are coming to know about things wherever they are. Now, this digital media itself has revolutionized. It has created an alternative channel of communication, knowledge dissemination, and an exchange of this. And therefore, it is becoming viral sooner. So, therefore, those handicaps that we were facing 2 years before are no more there. So, one hand, the government policies, the enabling environment, third, that digital platforms, social media platform, and then an entire digital connect is bringing you on the same platform where young boys and girls of tier one or any other bigger city are there. And therefore, this is now a mind. This is not a real challenge anymore. It is much about creating awareness in young boys and girls of smaller towns that you are on the same page, and you can come to on the same page if you try to ride on this digital platform and enter into the kind of digital ecosystem that is all around you.
Thank you so much for answering that question. The next question is from Madhvi. Madhvi, you may unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, thanks. Good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, okay. So, sir, thank you for giving us the insights. Sir, my question is regarding the startups. So, yes, sir, like the startup environment is really booming in our country currently. And like I have going through the startups, most of them are service, software as a service based. Also the tech ones. So, like the innovation startups are like the innovation startups. What can we? How can we generate the global players there? So like in innovation, something that can compete on a global level. So mostly the startups are focused on the regional level, on the indigenous level. So how can we like propagate the idea of competing in the global markets? That's my question.
See, the point is that you mentioned about service-based innovation and technology-based innovation, isn't it? I was a little problem in hearing you.
Yeah,
So
if I can, yeah,
no,
if I can
so
rephrase the question was about how can Indians innovate for the global market? You know, so far the innovations are quite confined to the Indian and the regional addressing the regional problems. Can we make our innovations globally applicable? Say, for example, Google coming from the US and occupying the whole world, can there be innovation going all the way from India and occupying the world to that effect? Yeah.
So it's like value chain. In fact, let us not think whether this product will become a global or a local, because you have to solve a problem while creating a product. The point is that all these companies, actually, Facebook and all, they were trying to solve some problem somewhere. So you have to just solve some problem somewhere, whether it is local or whatever. And as soon as you solve your problem, create a kind of platform or product or technology. If it will have a global implication. If it will be relevant for the people of the world, it will definitely get attention of those people, because now a strong ecosystem has taken shape. There is a chain. Now your innovation cannot remain secret anymore. It will be tacitly, properly evaluated by the people who understand the globe, who understand what is happening all across the world. And therefore, I would say that is whereas you will solve a local problem, if it will have a global relevance or appeal, it will become global on its own, because the ecosystem will make you global. And you know also a fact that for as soon as you solve a problem, you create a technology. But to make things global or a strong technology platform, you need lot of investment. Lot of investment. The idea behind this startup ecosystem is that you just ideate, create a product, and invite and attract investment. Now, I'm just trying to give a very simple thing. That as soon as you try to attract investment, and if your idea and product is really strong, those investors will make you global. Leave it to them.
Very well said. Very well said.
Thank you, sir. So we'll get this last question from Shri Harish Peddi. Shri Harish, you may unmute and ask your question.
Good morning, sir. So, as I saw your profile, you spent almost 7 years in BHU, Banaras Hindu University. So, how has it impacted your journey till now? And what is the
Very
important?
beautiful question. Beautiful question, I would say. See,
Uh,
I spent 11 years time in BHU. I came in BHU in 81.
11.
I did my PhD in 91. And then I was a postdoctoral fellow there before I joined the central government. So the point is that we used to live and get educated in very different environment. The universities were actually not educational institutions. Um, I must recall my time when we used to learn everything in Banaras University. We were anti-state, anti-system. We were against teachers. We were against deans. We were against vice chancellors, and we were allowed to be against them. They were the people who allowed us to do anything. So we were actually, university was a huge system where there was a school of oriental learning, philosophy, language, Pali, Prakrit, performing art, visual arts, science faculty, agriculture, engineering. IIT BHU was also the part of the Banaras University. So we were actually, we grew in a very different environment where we got all the priorities, all the focus other than the classroom teaching. So we used to attend lesser classes, more extracurricular, and we didn't know whether it made us something. So I had a very different experience, and I was not a very ambitious person. I just wanted to, complete my PhD. I entered in the university and came out of the university after doing everything. Thereafter, I didn't study anything. So I must say that the university made me what I am today, because the kind of self-esteem, the kind of exposure, the kind of confidence, and the kind of collaborative spirit that is instilled in me uh, actually helped me everywhere. So I am very grateful to my university, and very fortunately, I am the president of my alumni association in Delhi for many years now, and I represent them. I live still like a family with them. So you actually reminded me of a very great. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much,
Notwithstanding of
sir.
whatever he said about his days in the university,
Ah.
Omkar, in essence, remained the topper of his batch and one of the outstanding students of his time. Well, that dossier is always available with me. Thank you, Omkar.
Thank you,
Thank you
Dada.
very much. Thank you. Great.
Thank you, sir.
Really, I was
Thank
very
you very
impressed
much,
at
sir.
your discourse for a long time. Professor Akanksha, would you please propose a vote of thanks to Omkar?
Thank you, Dr. Omkar. Very nice hearing you. Our students really have learned a lot from your experience and insights you shared. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, now you are audible. Please. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So I just wanted to thank you for sharing your insights and coming from your vast experience. I'm sure our students have learned a lot from your insights and will be happy to host you in person whenever the situation allows on our campus at
It will
IIT.
be my pleasure. It will be my pleasure. Thank you very much for this.
So we look forward to have you here sometime on campus.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.